for daily fantasy. His number too high, then I'm probably fading him. He been on the road, he gon' eat up my salary. I hit up by, he gon' lie before lock. Play back to back, then I probably won't pick on the DFS bachelor. Good as it gets. Build a few liners and hit me a leg. He had a good game, but it might be a trick. Log in the Slack so I know who to pick. Sharing our liners, we all gon' get rich. New to this game, you should come to the pad. You might want some cash and get a good laugh. DFS sports, we gon' run up a bag. He heard every game and it's making me mad. You buying your lineups, I think you a cheater. DFS bachelor, he the new leader. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Bachelor Pad. I, of course, am your host of DFS Bachelor, and we're going to go over our fantasy draft NBA picks for Sunday, January 26th. I mean, why the hell not? It's our first Sunday in a while. It's a bit depressing without any real football. I mean, the Pro Bowl, which absolutely doesn't count. So I figure we'll get some videos out for the NBA today, so hopefully that kind of eases the sting of that as we wait for my 49ers to hopefully whoop up on the Chiefs next weekend, although I'm not overly confident about that. First things first, thank you for all your support. I truly do appreciate it. Thank you all for making me a part of your day. Truly humbling. Very grateful to all of you. Cheers to all of you. Grab a coffee and Bailey's. It's definitely a coffee and Bailey's morning when you're up at 5:30 on a Sunday to cover the NBA. It's a cold, hard, brutal truth. But we're pretty grateful for it. Thank you all so much. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the team. Be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Get access to all of our content. Our FanDuel and DraftKings NBA video is also out for today. I'll have little links on both videos so you can go through and check out videos for all the sites. Fantasy Draft's a little bit different. It's rake-free DFS, first of all. So what that means is that all of your entry fees go right back in to the prize pool. So what does that mean for you as a player? It's very simple. If you take the $25 tournament here on Fantasy Draft, to double your money in the tournament and just, make twice your money, you need to come in the top 25% to do that. If you're on the DraftKings $25 tournament with the equal amount of players or a very similar amount of players, you have to come in the top 11% to double your money. So having that extra money in the prize pool increases what you win. It also increases your chances of winning. Doesn't guarantee anything, of course. Listening to my stupid ass doesn't guarantee you winning, of course. But rake-free DFS, it's a lot of fun. Be sure to check it out. If you're new to Fantasy Draft, enter promo code DFS Bachelor when signing up. We appreciate that as well. Also, another thing different about Fantasy Draft is it's double the salary cap. So don't be alarmed by the prices you see on the screen. You have a $100,000 salary cap as opposed to $50,000 on DraftKings. So that's why you see some of these inflated prices, or you think inflated, when in fact, we're getting a pretty good value on that. So be sure to check that out. Thank you all again so much. So what I like to do with these fantasy draft videos is a quick core five that I think could be successful. Now, of course, there's other ways that you can go. In fact, a lot of the times going other ways will help you win more than going this way, because I'm not perfect, as my ex-wife will attest to. So there you go. So let's get started. Let's start at point guard. Let's start at guard. So format: 3 guards, 3 forward/centers, 2 utilities. So it is a little bit different in that aspect as well. So at guard, I like Kemba Walker today against New Orleans. Boston could be without Jaylen Brown, Tatum, Marcus Smart, all of them iffy. Again, we just won't know until the news comes out. But even if they are healthy, Kemba Walker is underpriced. He's 14.5 here on Fantasy Draft. That's the equivalent of being about 7,200 on DraftKings. Today he's 7.6 or 7.9 on DraftKings. New Orleans, in terms of Fantasy Draft scoring, is 24th against opposing guards. Overall, they are 27th against opposing point guards, a 49 and a 36 his last 2 games out against New Orleans, a paced-up game for Boston as well. I think Kemba Walker, big-time upside, underpriced. I like him today on Fantasy Draft. Next for me, I like Devin Booker against Memphis. Paced-up game against Memphis. Now, they're 7th overall against guards in terms of Fantasy Draft scoring, but against shooting guards, they are 26th in the league. He put up a 51 his last time out against Memphis. He's been red hot. It's a paced-up game. Both these teams play at a fast pace. The second highest total of the slate behind Atlanta and Washington. Devin Booker, 14.9 on Fantasy Draft, the equivalent of just under 7,500 on DraftKings, and he's actually 8,100 today on DraftKings, so I think you're getting a nice value for him as well. Now, we've paid up a little bit at our first two guard positions, so we do need some value. And yet again, I'm going to go to Jeremy Lamb. I just think he's too cheap. He's starting. He put up a 32 on DraftKings, a 33 on FanDuel the other night at this same price when we talked about him being underpriced. Now, he's been really up and down this season. You could see his last 3 games, a 23, then a 13, then a 32. But he's, what, 8,600 on Fantasy Draft, the equivalent of 4,300. Just that last game, if he gets you a 32 at 8,600 or 4,300, however you wish to identify it, you're getting a steal against a Portland team that's 19th against shooting guards and 12th overall against guards. I like Jeremy Lamb tonight. Could be a little bit tougher sledding, but because they're in Portland, which is where fantasy players go to die. But I just think for the value and the upside, I do like Jeremy Lamb. There's some other guys in that range here on Fantasy Draft. Guys like Cam Reddish are down here at that price. Aaron Holiday, Joe Harris. So there's some other options. Jordan McRae's awfully cheap, although his minutes have come down. So there are some options down here in that value range, so you could pay up at the other positions. Reddick is all the way down at 6,900. Someone to keep an eye on for tournaments as well. Forward centers. I like Vooch against the Clippers. I just don't think they have anyone who could deal with Vucevic. He is 15.5 on Fantasy Draft. So what? Equivalent of about 7.8 on DraftKings. But when you look at DraftKings today, he's 8.5. The Clippers are 22nd against forward/centers in Fantasy Draft scoring. Overall, against centers, they're 17th in the league against opposing centers. He has a 48, a 63, and a 42 in his last 3 against the Clippers. I think Vooch is in a good spot tonight, and I just don't think they have anyone in that front court who can deal with him. And then finally, someone whose price has definitely gone up, but I still think for the price, he has big upside, and that's Trevor Ariza against the Pacers. Now, the Pacers are 10th against forward/centers. They're 2nd against small forwards. But small forward/power forwards, Ariza is going to start. He's 9.8 on Fantasy Draft, the equivalent of about 4,900 on DraftKings. He played 35 minutes in that starting role in the last game, and he put up a 38 on DraftKings. If he does that again at 9.8, about 3x will get you 300 points here on Fantasy Draft. That's what we're looking for. Ariza at 9.8, I think, has some big upside. There are some other forward/centers in that price range, like DeAndre Hunter, super cheap at 8.2, a guy like Mitchell Robinson at 9K, Miles Turner at 9.9. I do think there's some options here for you if you want to go other than Trevor Ariza. Davis Bertans 10.1, Derek Favors 10.2, etc. But I do think Trevor Ariza has some nice upside tonight. So if we went with that core 5 of Kemba, Booker, Lamb, Vucevic, and Ariza, that would still leave you $12,233 per player, the equivalent of just over $6,000 per player on DraftKings. It's plenty of salary to let you be creative, make adjustments, pay up, pay down. I could easily just come on here and there you go, title of the sex tape. Come on here and give you 5 super expensive players and say, bleep off, here you go. Good luck setting the rest of your roster, but we like to give some flexibility here. Again, don't forget to check out Fantasy Draft. Comment with your Fantasy Draft username. I'll get with them. We'll work out where we're going to do some sort of giveaway like we used to do for football. I haven't figured out the details on that yet. I'm getting a little old. My brain is slower, as you all know. So comment with your Fantasy Draft username. If you're new to Fantasy Draft, be sure to enter promo code DFS Bachelor when signing up. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, be part of our weekly $25 PayPal giveaway that I will announce during tomorrow's video. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you all for making me a part of your day. Cheers to you all again. May the fantasy gods be with you, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you all again. Goodbye, folks.